no doubt in my mind that it is time for us to all be humbled when it comes to wellness trends. And so in today's video, I want to get us back on track, okay? I want us to remember where we came from, aka what actually works when it comes to getting healthy and staying healthy. A lot of these things are no cost or low cost. A lot of these things we know, but we need to hear again. And personally for me, when I brought myself back to reality, to the fundamentals of health, I have been the most healthy I have ever been. And I've had a lengthy journey with my health and wellness. I have had chronic illness like my hyperactive thyroid. I still have IBD, although it is well managed. I've had chronic nerve pain due to nervous system dysregulation. I've had an unhealthy relationship with food. I have been overweight at times in my life. I have had skin issues. I have had mood issues. I have had body issues. I've had a lot, okay? So I have been on this journey for a very long time, and I just want to make this video to bring us back to reality a little bit. Now, if you are new, my name is Alicia Gogan. Welcome to the channel. Right now, we're focusing on health, wellness, becoming the best versions of ourselves this summer. So if you like that type of content, definitely don't forget to subscribe. And if you're not new, today's drink of choice is an iced vanilla latte from Tim Hortons. Guys, listen, I know not everywhere they have Tim Hortons, but if you do, you need to get on the Tim Hortons iced lattes because not only do they taste amazing, they're literally half the price. Like most of the coffee shops that I go to get a latte is like $7 to $8 Canadian, mind you. And this is only around $4-ish, which is insane, and it tastes really good. So that's what I'm drinking today. So what actually prompted me to make this video is first a conversation that I was having with one of my best friends, and she was sending me this screenshot of this full body LED red light therapy like machine thing that she was really looking into, but she was going back and forth because it was really expensive and she was trying to get my opinion and to help her justify if she should go through with it or not. Mind you, she has the money to buy this, but she was still kind of being like, is it gonna be worth it? Is it really gonna like do what I want it to do? And she was screenshotting like what it was claiming it would help with, which is lowering inflammation and helping like anti-aging and even changing your mood and things like that. And I'm not here to say that some of those things don't work. I actually think red light therapy like masks, I have one as well. Some of those things actually really work. But when she was sending me the benefits of this red light thing, in my head, I was just thinking like, girl, what you need actually is the fundamentals of health first, and then you can focus on getting that as well. And I know her habits. She definitely does not need that red light therapy mask because she is aging. The girl is literally 25 years old and she has beautiful skin. And when it comes to like reducing inflammation and maybe like seeing some changes in your body or your skin or whatever, like you can get so many more benefits from doing things that are fundamental to this earth and to Mother Nature and to the rhythms of life and your body, that you do not need to spend all of this money and stressing out trying to figure out should I buy this thing or not to help you look or feel better. And then the other day I was going on my morning walk with my puppy Theo. He's sleeping beside me right now, so I'm not gonna get him up because if you guys know, he has the zoomies usually when I am talking and it drives me insane sometimes, but we love him. But I was walking in the morning, and usually I don't like to listen to any music or podcast when I'm walking him because I feel like I'm already overstimulated because I'm teaching him how to walk already. Like he's a puppy still and he gets overstimulated himself with cars and everything like that, even in the mornings. And also it's just so nice to go outside in nature in the morning when it is really quiet. So I was going on a morning walk and there was not that many people out, like especially when you go really early in the morning. And I was just like feeling into how good that made my nervous system feel and how calm I felt simply by going outside and listening to the birds chirp and being in a quiet area. And mind you, I do live in the city, so I just find the spaces that are a little bit more quiet and usually go around times where it's not super busy. Like I would not say the same thing about going outside at 5 p.m. on a Friday, but I do my best. And I got home and I made this reel and I basically was saying like, nature is free. We all need to really just have this reminder that we do not need to do the most when it comes to regulating our nervous system and getting healthy the way we think. I think there's so many trends online, there's so many tools and gadgets, and again, not to say that some of these things don't work or could be helpful, but I feel like a lot of us do not even do the bare minimum or the fundamentals consistently over and over, and we're wondering why we have digestion issues, why we have anxiety, why we're not sleeping well, why we're not shedding weight, all of these things. And then we're stressing about, oh my gosh, this thing isn't working, or this supplement's not working, or I don't have enough money, so like I can't, or like I need this red light therapy thing, or I'm not gonna be healthy, or I'm not gonna be pretty. And it's not true. It's seriously not true. So if you are feeling very burnt out, or if you feel like you aren't healthy and you want to be more healthy, the first thing that I would invite you to do is to start pulling back and rejecting wellness trends and the culture just a little more. Because I actually think that books and products and courses and more information and, 10-step this and that for whatever it is that you're trying to do really not only take you away from what is actually important, it actually makes you more stressed. And when you are stressed, your body is not going to be functioning right. And then we're wondering why we have all of these issues, which leads me into the next thing, which is when you want to be healthy, what you really need to be focusing on is a healthy, regulated nervous system. Because again, when your nervous system is in rest and digest and it's not constantly in fight or flight, your body is going to utilize nutrients the way that it needs to. Your body is going to digest your food correctly. Your body is going to be primed to be able to fall asleep when you need to. There's so many benefits of being in a state of calm and peace versus if you're in fight or flight all the time, you're stressing, you're controlling, you're trying to fix yourself constantly, your body is basically being signaled that it can't focus on digesting your food or utilizing minerals or nutrients from your food and using it for healthy skin and healthy hair. Or your hormones might be super dysregulated because you're always on and you're always stressed. And when your hormones are out of whack and your cycle is out of whack, then yeah, you might have some skin issues or some health issues. And that has definitely been my life. And listen, I understand that it is difficult. I have lived my entire life in fight or flight, so it's almost no wonder that we have these chronic conditions. But it's really also unfortunate because I just think about my journey, and I first started out in my journey when I got diagnosed with IBD and like all my other issues that I had. I was always constantly looking outside of myself and everything that either cost a lot of money, which would stress me out more, or just trying to search and trying to fix and feel like there's just this one thing, and if I just get that supplement or if I just get that piece of information or that book or that red light mask therapy or that skincare product or this one thing, it's gonna change my life, it's gonna make me the most healthy, and that's usually not the case. So I want to run through some of the fundamental things that I have worked on in the past, honestly, like 10 years of my life that have contributed to a healthy, regulated nervous system, and in turn, I have been the most healthy, and I still am the most healthy that I've ever been. And this is not to say that I don't have times where I'm a little like less healthy or I get sick or this, that. That can definitely happen, especially with having something like IBD like I do. But I have found ways to heal and to manage and to thrive in some of the worst health conditions. So the first thing that I think is crucial when it comes to being healthy is actually working on your mental health. And now your mental health is like an umbrella. There's so many things that contribute. There's so many things that go into your mental health, like the way you speak to yourself, or the beliefs that you hold about yourself or others or success or life in general. Is life against you or is life working for you? But also under this umbrella, I really want you guys to hone in and think about your relationships, because I think the biggest thing that goes unnoticed when it comes to health conditions is our social systems. If we have unhealthy relationships, not only towards ourselves, but in relation to our environment, so parents or friends or, caregivers, all these things, if these systems are dysfunctional and they are toxic and they are stressing us out, it is going to signal to our nervous systems to stay in fight or flight and that we are not safe to rest and digest. And when we are not safe, that is when our bodies are not capable of really being in that healing state. It doesn't mean our bodies can't be in a healing state. Our bodies are actually very, very smart, but it is to think about those relationships or friendships that might not be serving you and really work towards changing them and transforming them and getting out of situations. And I know that is easier said than done when you are living in a toxic environment, or you're in like long-term relationships, or you've known these friends for a very long time, or you have really negative self-talk. But this is why I have my podcast. This is why I have my YouTube channel. This is why I've been on this journey for so long, speaking about what I've been talking about, because I have just had to rebuild my life based off of the cards that I was dealt. I had two parents who were addicts. I had a dad who was very, very emotionally unavailable. He scared me to death. I was always terrified of him. I had a mom who, she was beautiful and loving and graceful and taught me so many things. But on the opposite side, there was inconsistency. There was a lot of avoidance. And with that, I would bring the way that I learned to be in relationships and family dynamics with them into my life with my friends and even men. And you know, when you're not in healthy relationships, it will take a toll on you. And you can do your 10-step wellness routine, and you could do your 6 a.m. mornings, and you could go to the gym or get a new book or get a new wellness tool. But if your social systems are dysfunctional, then yeah, you might still be very unhealthy and stressed, and it's no wonder why. Now, life is not made perfectly. Our systems are not sometimes set up for the best, but just take it from me, I wasn't handed the best deck of cards and I got myself out of it. And it's really about working on your mental toughness and getting through these things, and also allowing yourself to feel your feelings and feel your emotions and letting them out instead of holding them in and suppressing them, because your body will hold that stress as well. And we're wondering why our bodies are speaking to us. So that is a whole nother topic, which I talk a lot about that on my podcast, which is on my second channel, or you can listen to it on Spotify and Apple. So maybe I'll even like link some videos when it comes to like the mind body connection and stuff like that, because I talk about that a lot. And that is really what this work is, right? It's going deep into the parts of us that are really, really controlled by stress, because once you start working out of these things, you will find you heal a lot. Okay, the next thing is movement. But I want to talk about it in the sense of not being tied down and not being a prison to your movement routines. And I think this comes directly out of being somebody who could be a perfectionist or a control freak. But you know, movement is so good for you, and it doesn't need to cost anything. Just going outside and moving your body and taking some walks or doing at-home workouts. There's so many free resources online. If you're watching this video right now, you can find a YouTube video. You can take small breaks throughout your workday if you need to, whatever it is. Everyone's life is different, but you need to move your stagnant energy that is within your body. You have to look at your body not only like a temple, but as an energy system. And if you're not moving, if you're not releasing, and I even mean like your emotions, right? When it comes to the mental health thing, if you're not releasing and moving, you are going to be stuck. And I even think about this when it comes to your digestive system. And I've had digestion issues my entire life, and that is because I was highly stressed and I was stuck and I was frozen, and I also wasn't moving, like those physical things like moving. So making sure that you are prioritizing movement. And what I mean by not being a prison to your routine, I feel like, you know, let's say we have this goal for ourselves to start going to the gym. We got a new gym membership. I want to go a few times a week, and like in my head, like that's a great plan and this, that. There's gonna be some weeks where maybe you just like don't have the time, or like you're really, really exhausted because maybe you're like in your luteal phase like me. Like this is the past week that's been happening with me. I've been in my luteal phase, so I don't have as much energy to give to weightlifting super, super heavy. But that does not mean that I'm not going to do anything just because I can't do that one routine. And this is why we need to allow ourselves to do all different types of movement, because if you're only stuck and tied to one thing, then what are you gonna do? Just not move your body at all just because you can't do the weightlifting? Like sometimes that's gonna happen, but you shouldn't not move your body. So anytime that it's like my luteal phase and I just like, I'm super exhausted during that time, I'm like, you know what? I'm letting go of this idea of the fact that I really wanna be weightlifting a few times out of the week. Obviously that would be great, but right now I need to do slow movement. I'm gonna do more walks. I'm gonna go outside more, which end up making me feel so much better anyways, because it doesn't feel so like exhausting and draining. I've also been doing more Pilates, like slow movement, things like that. But I'm saying all this just to say you really need to allow yourself to adapt with your body and life, because that is life and things are going to change. And again, I just remember times where I was so frustrated and I'm sitting on social media and I'm scrolling and I'm stressing out and I'm trying to figure out like what's that next wellness trend or that new supplement that's gonna cost me way too much money that I don't even have, when I really didn't even have a consistent movement schedule. Like I wasn't even walking back then when I was like trying to figure out and spending so much money on, which I am not an enemy of some of those things because I use them and I love them, but I use them in such a different way now. I first always focus on, am I moving consistently week after week after week? And if I am not moving week after week after week, and and I'm not working on my mental health, then I personally believe that me spending loads of money on all of these like new trends or like supplements and things like that, that's just a waste of money, because my body's not even gonna utilize these things correctly because I don't have that fundamental health status. I'm not moving my body consistently. I'm not going for walks. Like, I remember back in the day, like, I never went on walks. I never went outside. And I'm not saying everyone has to always like walk like 10,000 steps and this, that, but it's like, girl, you didn't even go outside. You were bed rotting all the time. You're on social media all the time and you're wondering why you're not healthy. You don't need another supplement. Now, the next thing is focusing on a well-balanced diet. And this is another thing that I got sucked into for sure, is every other diet under the sun, whether it was keto or vegan or high protein or low protein, whatever, you know, like all of them. And I found a way to eat that works for me, and everyone has their own like ways to eat. Like, I'm not saying like one is better than the other or anything like that, but all I am saying is let's focus on actually eating well-balanced meals before, again, we go to these insane restrictive diets, or we find these like products, or we're trying to find these like new quick ways to fix and lose weight and this, that. And I'm not saying some of these things are not helpful for some people. I'm not saying that. But from my personal experience, and also what I see from some friends around me and, you know, even people in my community and stuff, it's like, have we tried cooking our meals from home? Have we tried eating balanced meals with some protein, some fiber, some carbs, some healthy fats consistently? And I don't mean like 1 or 2 times out of the week and then we're wondering why we're not losing weight, we're not having better skin or better sleep or whatever. I'm talking about like consistently, week after week after week, you have a routine, you're meal prepping, or you have some sort of like idea of most of your meals you're gonna be eating at home. You're lowering your sugar intake. You're not being super strict and 100%. You know, I don't do that at all. But again, I just think back to the times where I was wondering why my skin was so bad, or why I wasn't losing weight, or why I wasn't even like gaining muscle and this, that, but my nutrition didn't reflect that. I wasn't being consistent with really anything, and I had to be real with myself about that. Okay, the next thing that is very, very crucial when it comes to regulating your nervous system is getting proper sleep and recovery and rest. And I feel like we kind of know this in theory, but we do not do this and practice this. And I'll tell you this for free, it takes a damn while to actually, I'm not gonna say perfect, but like work on a good sleep schedule, because life is life. And for me personally, I've lived a very stressful life, so I've had to find the ways that actually allow me to sleep properly and recover properly. And also when it comes to being somebody who's like a workaholic and a self-improver, I've had to really learn how to balance living and resting. And I actually talked about that in my last video, so I can have that linked down below when it comes to burnout. But again, if we are not sleeping properly, if we are not recovering, and that could be from the gym or even from people, our social situations, or taking proper rest times throughout the day, from work or week after week, whatever it is no wonder why we are not healthy. When you don't let yourself rest and recover from the gym, your muscles are not going to build properly. Or alternatively, let's say you're on a weight loss journey, if you're constantly stressing and stressing and stressing and stressing your body without resting as well, your body will actually hold on to fat instead of release it, because it thinks that we are in a threat. And when your body is convinced, or your mind is convinced that it is in fight or flight, there's danger around, it's gonna hold on to fat, because we don't know when we're gonna get our next meal. But also, I don't have time to burn fat, and I don't even have time to digest our food properly, because I need to make sure that we are going to run away from the lion, because I believe there's a lion here, and there's a lion here, and there's a lion over here, and I am not safe. And what I mean by lions is social media constantly coming at you, you always trying to find a new thing to heal yourself or fix yourself, or that negative self-talk, or that situationship that is making you anxious every single day, on edge. Those are the lines that I'm talking about. So take this time in your life to focus on rest and recovery. Right now, I'm doing a few things that have helped me tremendously. One is getting into bed at least 1 hour before I plan to actually sleep. This helps my body actually prepare and slow it down and come down from that fight or flight. Even though I live a pretty like stress-free life now, even like just watching TV or, you know, doing your like nighttime routine, it still kind of like makes you a little bit awake. So I really like to give myself time in bed so I can kind of decompress and relax. I always sleep with white noise on, and for me that's rain sounds, and I use the ones that are on YouTube and I just play that at night. That really helps me fall asleep because I'm somebody who is a light sleeper. I used to live in a very unsafe environment. I never felt safe in my environment, so I would always be like really wide awake and like always like listening to sounds and stuff. So even though I'm in a healthy environment now, my body still sometimes can think that it's not. So that has been helpful for me to kind of block out noise and really just focus on what I'm here to do, which is to sleep. Sometimes if I really can't sleep, I will turn on a guided meditation. I also use those on YouTube. The Mindful Movement has really good ones, and that just helps me get out of my head if I'm ever in my head, and I usually fall asleep within like 10-15 minutes. Also, one supplement that has been helping me with deep sleep, and listen, I have been this wellness girl for years, okay? I have spent so much money and time on supplements and naturopaths and tests and products, everything, okay? And I promise you with everything in my soul, magnesium has actually helped me sleep and get more deep sleep. It's actually insane. So I'm not trying to promote like a supplement and stuff, but I will say if you're gonna get one thing, you're gonna take anything for sleep, it's gonna be that. I don't like to take melatonin because I don't want to mess with my production of melatonin, but with magnesium, a lot of us actually are depleted in it in the first place anyways, especially for women. It's very helpful. So that's just been a huge game changer. I take that before I go to sleep, and it really helps me get deep sleep. And just a reminder with sleep, your body is repairing itself all the way from your gut health, which affects your skin and your hair and your mood, literally everything, but also your muscles, your fat storage, of course, your energy levels in general. So if you are wanting to be more healthy, you need to prioritize sleep. And the last thing that's been really helpful for me is moving in the rhythm of life in general, which means in the summer, there's things that I have more capacity to do. I have more energy, I can get outside more. I'm eating fruits, vegetables, things that are more seasonal. I'm not perfect with it, but I try to kind of live in the flow of life and nature. In the winter time, I'm slowing things down more. I'm getting more rest. I'm allowing myself to have more rest. I am making soothing, warming foods because that's typically what my body needs. Also, as a woman, I cycle sync, which I am gonna come out with an updated video. Don't worry, I will definitely come out with that. And that has definitely helped me when it comes to lowering my stress and, you know, moving in the rhythm of my hormonal cycle and slowing things down when I need to, and really capitalizing on my energy when I have a lot more, so that way I'm not actually stressing about myself because I'm in a state to actually work and be productive. And again, all of these things are so beneficial for a healthy nervous system. And when you have a healthy nervous system, you feel better, you look better, you start glowing from the inside out. But understand this when it comes to healing your nervous system and getting healthy. It takes commitment. It takes not quick fixes. It takes you being patient and you being loving and you going on this process and you being really in touch with what your body uniquely needs. And I just think about the amount of phases that I went through at the beginning of my health and wellness journey. I just wasted so much time jumping from thing to thing to thing, whether it was a diet or a supplement regimen or a new type of habit, this, that it was no wonder I wasn't getting healthy because I wasn't being consistent with anything at all, because I was looking for those quick fixes. And mainly I was looking for those quick fixes because I was in a state of fight or flight and I was stressed and I was trying to get out of my situation and I was just trying to feel better. So it's like we need to give ourselves love and compassion when we find ourselves being like, oh, I really want this thing, or like you're wanting to find answers to your problems. That's totally fine, but a lot of your answers to your problems are calling from the inside out, which means you come back home to yourself and you slow it down and you say, what do I need in this moment? And most likely, maybe you just need to go outside today. Maybe you just need to stop playing so many things in the background. Maybe it's a little less time off of your phone. Maybe it's to finally let go of those relationships or friendships that are not serving you. Or maybe it's time to work on your debt or not put so much money into things that are not giving you that return so that you can lower your stress, because in the back of your mind, you might be stressing fantasizing about that as well. Or maybe it's time to focus on your dream life and working towards things that actually light you up, and in turn it's going to make you feel so much happier. And when you're happier and when you're more grateful for life, you're going to have more of a capacity to show up for yourself in the ways that you are supposed to eat well, to move your body consistently, to get that sleep. But when you're burnt out, when you are stressed, of course you're not going to take care of yourself in those ways. But just know that you trying to do those quick fixes aren't going to be the thing either. And if anything, it's probably going to take you further away from yourself, further away from the process, and probably deplete your bank account. Now, there was a Pinterest quote that I actually really liked, and I want to leave this with you. This quote says, instead of asking, how can I regulate my nervous system? Ask yourself, what do I need to feel connected, grounded, and safe in this moment? And that's going to look different depending on who you're with, what day it is, what season of life you're in. So always just coming back to yourself and taking that time to be like, what would make me feel a little bit more safe and more calm? And for me, when I ask myself those questions, it's usually like, you know what? I just need to get out of my head for a second. I need to go on a walk, or I need to stop overwhelming myself with information or trying to find this new thing that makes me feel anxiety ridden instead of calm right now. I need to call a friend to express my emotions or get something out on my chest. I need to focus on the things that do make me really happy and excited about life instead of stressing and doom scrolling in my life. And the last one says, I wish more people knew healing the nervous system is about being still, laying in the sun, being present while you eat your food, listening to the sounds of nature, letting your imagination run wild. Instead of more routine, the body needs less. And that is really what I'm always thinking about. What can I do less of? Because we don't need more and more and more, and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Stick to a few habits. What are some core fundamental principles that I can always come back to if I'm feeling like I'm not healthy or things are going array? Can I get back to, okay, am I getting consistent sleep? Am I moving my body consistently? Am I getting out in nature? Is my mental health okay when it comes to my relationships or my self-talk, those type of things? Am I eating well-balanced meals? Can I focus on those things before I start dabbling and feeling like I need to get another book or another tool or another thing? And then when you come to a good place, and I'm not saying a perfect place because there's no such thing really as perfect, but when you come to a place where you are being like more consistent and you're just feeling like you're really good and solid in some of these fundamental principles, then yeah, like go try that supplement if you want, but also know that it's not gonna be the thing that changes the entirety of absolutely everything. I can even say when it comes to magnesium, has it actually changed my deep sleep? Absolutely. Like it has actually changed so much for me, but at the end of the day, I still need to get into bed at a decent time. I need to make sure that I am not overstimulating myself so much because I'll stay up. And if I'm not eating well during the days, then my body's not going to utilize this magnesium the way that it needs to. And I know that. And so if I'm going to spend my money on these things, then I want to make sure that I'm actually co-creating with it. Same thing goes with like my Ultra Human ring. Do you need an Ultra Human ring or like an Aura ring to tell you how well you slept or your steps and things like that? No, but if you either have the money or you are being consistent with this and you want something to get you more accountable, or you want to be excited about this and you have a good relationship with something like tracking those things, then get it. That's totally fine. But just know that this is not going to be the thing that like makes you get your ass into bed at 9 p.m. instead of 10 p.m. Or when it comes to tracking your steps, like you still need to get up and go outside. You can't just keep looking at the app and being like, oh my God, I have 2,000 steps or whatever. Like you gotta go and do the work. So anyways, that is all for today. I just wanted to send this message out to anyone who just needs a reminder, or if you've just never heard some of this information, then amazing. Maybe you learned something today, but I just think we need to sometimes like bring ourselves back to reality. And anytime I find myself being like super intrigued on a new wellness trend or something, I kind of just be like, okay, hold on. Am I doing all of these things first? And then maybe let me look into it and maybe even give myself some time to think about this thing. And then typically I don't get it, or if I do get it, then it's like really aligned to my habits or the way that I move in my life and things like that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.